Today I have a haul and I'm excited because now I can finally read these books. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lily and this is Lily in the Library. So today I have a pretty big haul. I've got a couple subscription boxes in here and just some stuff I've been picking up from secondhand or Pango, you know, my favorite place to get books. So I want to get started with the books I have gotten from Pango first. As many of you know, I am a Pango ambassador. You can get $5 off your first Pango order with my code, which I will put on the screen because I can't remember what it is. I think it's Lily's Library. That will be linked in the description box below. You can also find links to my Instagram, which has a huge link selection to anything that I have a code for, or things that I use, or anywhere else you can find me. So yeah, let's get started with the Pango books. So the first book I got from Pango is Horror Store. I recently saw Kayla from Books and Lala talking about this, and I've never read a Grady Hendrix before. This one, it just really looks entertaining to me because it's like IKEA, which I've also never been to an IKEA before. I know, crazy. But it has like the different descriptions inside. So this one is about a store where something weird is happening, and I think they decide to spend the night in the store to see exactly what's happening. But the cover is so crazy to me looking, and then even on the back. And I did take a quick little flip through, and it's just the descriptions of the furniture and stuff that's in here just starts to slowly get more like bizarre. So I'm really excited to read this one. And then I do not have these books in my collection yet. And before the special editions come out from Illumicrate, I wanted to get my hands on at least the trilogy because I haven't read the short stories book yet, but it's not really entertaining me that much. I'm sorry. But I did love the first 3 books in this series. Scythe, Thunderhead, and then I forget, The Toll is the last one. I did read these a couple years ago, and I would love to reread them again when the special edition comes out because I am planning on getting it. And I want to be able to annotate and write in the books and stuff, and obviously I'm not going to do that in my special editions. So I am working on getting... I saw these 2 from the same seller, so I wanted to go ahead and get them together, and then I just need to get The Toll separately. But yeah, these were a great deal, and I'm super excited. If you don't know what this series is about, it is basically set in a future society where people no longer die. All illnesses, everything has been cured. There's no need for money anymore. People no longer have to work. They can just kind of like enjoy their lives. And so to keep the population under control, they have founded the Scythes, which are basically Grim Reapers, and they choose XYZ amount of people. I know that there's like a quota. There's a certain amount of people they need to cull every year in order to keep the population from like getting out of hand. But it kind of explores, not only does it explore the society and like how things have changed from like where we are today, but it also explores like the corruption even in a society that seems infallible, that is no longer being really dictated by people anymore, because we have the Thunderhead, which is kind of like, I mean, it's AI, but it's like not what we have right now. The closest thing I would say would be maybe Meta or Gemini, that level of AI. The only thing that the Thunderhead does not control is the Scythes and their nation, what they do, all of that stuff. So it's just very interesting to see that almost political take on it. And I don't know, I love these books. They were so good, and I cannot wait to reread them. Then I did receive a few gifts this month. I got Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young, which I'm very excited to read because earlier this year I read Set the Record Straight from her, which is a Christmas novella, and I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed the writing, so I'm excited to read this book. I know it's gotten a lot of hype. It's gotten so much positive feedback, so I'm assuming I'm going to love this one. It says Winifred Wynne McNulty has always been wildly independent and not one to be coddled for her limb difference. Wynne has spent most of her life trying to prove that she can do it all on her own with some minor adjustments. She's done just fine. Hooking up at a costume party with the incredibly charming Beau changes everything. Wynne finds herself pregnant and decides to keep the baby. While Beau is surprisingly elated to step up to the plate, Wynne is unsure whether she can handle this new challenge. Together, Wynne and Beau decide to get to know each other as friends and nothing more, while they embark on this parenting journey together. But as they both should know by now, life rarely goes according to plan. I don't know. It just sounds like a good story. It caught my eye, so I put it on my wish list, and somebody picked it up for me. Then I have How to End a Love Story by Yulin Quang, and I remember hearing something about this. I know this got a lot of mixed reviews. I was really excited about this because there's Asian representation in it. Helen Zhang hasn't seen Grant Shepard once in the 13 years since the tragic accident that bound their lives together forever. Okay, I remember somebody talking about this, saying that there was like a car accident or something. I don't know. I don't want to read the back because I feel like I'm going to be spoiling something for myself. So you know what? If you want to know more about this, you're going to have to look up the Google. You're going to have to Google it. One of the sexiest, smartest, funniest, most effective novels I've read in a long time from Emily Henry. So, and then I have a few books from my subscription box. So I have my November Illumicrate book, which is so beautiful, and I did show it in one of my most recent vlogs. It is just a very beautiful book. So this one is The Last Hour Between Worlds. So I know that it's like a mystery of some sorts. I think it's a sapphic romance. There is a clock that is transporting them every hour, I think, to a new time period, and they have to figure out what's happening. So I am very excited to read this one. Actually, also it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful book. So this was my November Illumicrate, and then I got my final Afterlight, at least for the time being, which I am a little bit bummed that I canceled it now because I see that January is I think under lock and key or something, and I really wanted to read that, and it's got a cute special edition. But this is also such a cute edition. Like, I love it. It's so holiday. It's such a perfect, like, what a perfect time. And this is Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring Blake. I think there's another, I think this is the second book in a series. I don't really know what this one is about. It just says 5 years ago, Charlotte Donovan was ditched at the altar. Now she's doing more than okay. Sure, her mother never checks in, but she has her band, the Rosalind Quartet, and her life in New York is a dream come true. As the holidays draw near, her ensemble mate Sloane persuades the quartet to spend Christmas with her family in Colorado for some festive peace. But when Charlotte arrives, she discovers an unexpected guest, none other than her ex-fiancé, Brighton. All Brighton Fairbook wanted was to have the holliest, jolliest Christmas. Instead, she's stuck pretending she and Charlotte are strangers. Difficult when Sloane's mom signs them all up for festive dating events. Soon they're entrenched in horseback riding and cookie decorating, but Charlotte still won't talk to Brighton, not after what she did. So, I'm excited. I think I'm going to add this to my reading list, actually. And I have a few books that I purchased from Amazon. I got Slewfoot by Brahm. I've been hearing everyone talk about this one. I probably won't get to it until next year, Halloween, but I was intrigued. It's about witches during, the Puritan time, 1666 it takes place. So I'm excited. And then I also picked up Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This was like $5, I think, when I got it. I don't really know what this is about. Liz Buxbaum has always known that Wes Bennett was not boyfriend material. You would think that her next-door neighbor would be a prime candidate for romantic comedy fantasies, but Wes has only proven himself to be a pain in the butt ever since they were little. Wes was the kid who put a frog in her Barbie dream house, the monster who hid a lawn gnome's severed head in her little homemade neighborhood book exchange. Oh my gosh, flash forward 10 years from the great gnome decapitation. It's Liz's senior year, a time meant to be rife with milestones, perfect for any big screen, and she needs Wes's help. Yeah, that's why I got it. Then I picked up some books I found at my local library. So I got Jojo Moyes' After You. I think this is right after Me Before You, so I was really interested in reading that. I also picked up Kristen Hanna, The Nightingale. I've heard mixed reviews, but mostly good things about this one, and I haven't read anything from Kristen Hanna yet. And I also got Megan Golden, The Night Swim, which I have heard good things about. I've read Megan Golden before, and I really loved Stay Awake by her, so I'm excited to read this one. And then I got another Jojo Moyes, The Giver of Stars. I haven't really heard anything about this one, but I think it was like $2, so I thought I'd just Reese's book club pick, so I thought I'd give it a chance. And then the one of the last places I went is this. It's not really a secondhand, but it's like discount store. I was able to find Hilary Mantel, The Mirror and the Light, and this is the Wolf Hall, the third book in the Wolf Hall series. This is a trilogy following Thomas Cromwell. I'm not a big fan of him, but the first two are about like Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn, and so I'm assuming this is going to be, having a lot to do with them as well. So I am excited to read this series, although I'm the least excited about the third book because Anne Boleyn is dead already. So what are we going to be about? But yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading that in the new year. And then the last place I got a good chunk of books from this haul is from a secondhand shop not too far from me. I found a couple of Agatha Christie's. So I found Murder on the Orient Express and The Big Four. I thought I would give these a try. I think I have read Murder on the Orient Express, but it's been a long time. And I mean, they were 10 cents a piece. So if nothing else, I can always put them on my Pango for really cheap and someone else can love them as well. But I've never heard of The Big Four, and I really wanted to read at least a few from Agatha Christie. Then I got One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've never read anything from her. I was happy to grab a book for super cheap to see if I like her. It says now a major motion picture, so I'm interested to see if I'll like the book or the movie better. But this one I think is like an amnesia, or not amnesia, but it's like the guy, what does it say here? In her 20s, Emma Blair marries her high school sweetheart, Jesse. They build a life for themselves far away from the expectations of their parents and the people of their hometown in Massachusetts. They travel the world together. Emma as a freelance writer, Jesse as a production assistant on nature documentaries, living life to the fullest and seizing every opportunity for adventure. On their first wedding anniversary, Jesse is on an assignment in the Aleutian Islands when his helicopter goes missing over the Pacific. Just like that, Jesse is gone forever. Emma quits her job and moves home in an effort to put her life back together. Years later, now in her 30s, Emma runs into an old friend, Sam, and finds herself falling in love again. When Emma and Sam get engaged, it feels like Emma's second chance at happiness. That is, until Jesse is found. He's alive, and he's been trying to come home to her all these years. Emma now has a husband and a fiancé, but who is her one true love? And what does it even mean to truly love? Emma knows she has to listen to her heart. She's just not sure what it's saying. So that sounds really good. I'm excited to read it. I love stuff like that. Then I also picked up this kind of busted, beat up copy, but again, like I said, it was 10 cents, so I'll put up with it. If I really like it, I can get a nicer copy. of All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I think this has also been turned into a series of some sort or a movie or something. I don't really know much about it, but I remember that I wanted to pick it up and read it for some reason. Marie-Laure Leblanc lives with her father in Paris. That's why, because it's in Paris. Near the Museum of Natural History where he works. When she is 12, the Nazis occupy Paris, and father and daughter flee to the walled citadel of Saint-Malo, where Marie-Laure's reclusive great-uncle lives in a tall house by the sea. With them, they carry what might be the museum's most valuable and dangerous jewel. In a mining town in Germany, Werner Pfennig, an orphan, grows up with his younger sister, enchanted by a crude radio they find that brings them news and stories from places they have never seen or imagined. Werner becomes an expert at building and fixing these crucial new instruments and is enlisted to use his talent to track down the resistance. Marie-Laure and Werner, from warring countries, both have lost many of the people they loved, come together in Saint-Malo as Doerr illuminates the ways against all odds people try to be good to one another. So that sounds like a good time. Then I also picked up The Widow of the South. I don't know, this just sounded interesting because it's about a woman has she's helping the Confederate soldiers, I think. In 1894, Carrie McGavock is an old woman who has only her former slave to keep her company, and the almost 1,500 soldiers buried in her backyard. Years before, rather than let someone plow over the field where these young men had been buried, Carrie dug them up and reburied them in her own personal cemetery. Now, as she walks the rows of the dead, an old soldier appears. It is the man she met on the day of the battle that changed everything. The man who came to her house as a wounded soldier and left with her heart. He asks if the cemetery has room for one more. So, I don't know, it sounded like a cute little romance. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it because I'm not a big fan of war stuff, but I do like historical fiction. So that's really why I picked it up. And then the last thing I found was Every Last Fear by Alex Finley. I have not read anything by Alex Finley yet, and when I saw this one, I was like, you know what? I'll pick it up and see if I like it. They found the bodies on a Tuesday. So begins this twisty and breathtaking novel that traces the fate of the Pine family, a thriller that will both leave you on the edge of your seat and move you to tears. After a late night of partying, NYU student Matt Pine returns to his dorm room to devastating news. Nearly his entire family, his mom, his dad, his little brother, and sister have been found dead from an apparent gas leak while vacationing in Mexico. The local police claim it was an accident, but the FBI State Department seem far less certain, and they won't tell Matt why. The tragedy makes headlines everywhere because this isn't the first time the Pine family has been thrust into the media spotlight. Matt's older brother Danny, currently serving a life sentence for the murder of his teenage girlfriend Charlotte, was the subject of a viral true crime documentary suggesting that Danny was wrongfully convicted. Though the country has rallied behind Danny, Matt holds a secret about his brother that he's never told anyone. The night Charlotte was killed, Matt saw something that makes him believe his brother is guilty of the crime. When Matt returns to his small hometown to bury his parents and siblings, he's faced with a hostile community that was villainized by the documentary, frenzied media, and memories he'd hoped to leave behind forever. Now, as the deaths in Mexico appear increasingly suspicious, Matt must unearth the full truth about his family's final days, putting his own life in peril. Told through multiple points of view and alternating between past and present. Okay, yeah, I think I'm really going to like this one. It sounds like a good time, sounds like a good thriller, sounds like it's right up my alley. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this little haul. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back to Lily in the Library. I'm Lily. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is what? It's a Reese